You brought me a gift?
Yes, I did.
But you are the gift.
Well,
No, but you're
now
very...
you've
Do you want
got
me to open it?
this. Yes. Yes, I do.
I'm very excited about this. Ooh, what could it be? It's heavy. Is this honey?
It's honey.
Honey. From Debbie Harry, honey? Thank you for this.
You're welcome.
This is gonna be like special honey for me.
It's from my own beehives. That's even
How
better,
lucky?
right?
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my gosh, guys, check out my eBay account right now. You won't even, no, not for this.
Okay.
I would never. I'm so excited about this. Do you remember the last time we saw each other?
Yes.
Because why? The producers told you backstage?
No.
We saw each other. You helped me out.
Oh, no.
Yes, you really helped me out of a pickle. I was at the SNL after party for the 40th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. And we're at the after party at the Plaza Hotel. And I was on stage singing with the band. And I sang with Paul McCartney, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, Ariana Grande. And I go, do you want to sing? And I saw you in the crowd. And I go, do you want to sing Tide is High? And you're like, I can't believe this idiot is asking me to sing. You're like, and I was like, sorry to put you on the spot, but you came up and you crushed Tide is High with Ariana Grande.
It's funny how people remember things differently.
Wait, was that not what happened?
Not for me.
Okay, all right. Well, I apologize for putting you on the spot, but you crushed it that night, and it was memorable for me.
It was totally memorable, and it was a great night and an incredible party and a great show.
Ended with us jamming out with Prince at the end.
Yeah.
The whole thing was crazy. It was just one of the, but thank you for doing that, because I was like, I needed help, and you saw the desperation in my eyes. I'm like, please get up and help me. And you're like, all right, Jimmy, and let me show you how to do it. How was the tour? You're working on a new album. Blondie has a new album coming out. You had a tour this summer. How was it? Fun?
Well, we started, I think, in the spring in the UK, and then we moved over to, to this country.
Do you remember when Blondie first came out and your first big tour, and you're like, oh, this is it? This is the big time. What's the difference between then and now?
Bigger audiences?
Yeah, of course. Were you playing like bars back in the
everything.
Clubs?
We would play anything, really.
Anything you could. Yeah. Who would hire you to get in there? I love this box set, by the way. You did a great job with it. There's books in here. There's every vinyl. There's 10-inch vinyls. There's every album.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite album? It's tough to ask. Tough to ask.
Maybe Auto-American.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Look how cool.
It's hard because there's so many songs that we never play.
How do you just be this cool? I mean, you were unbelievable. Were you always, did you always have the bug? I know I'm going to be cool. Did you always have, as a little kid?
No.
No.
No, I was very shy.
You were?
Yes, I still am.
Oh, no. Oh, honey, don't be sad. I want to ask you, because obviously you became the face of punk. You're the face of fashion, always fashion forward. Here's you in a... Here's why I like there's a funny story to this. Because you look gorgeous, right? But what is the story behind the dress?
The dress was a pillowcase.
This is how you end up being Debbie Harry. I
mean,
this is the coolest...
I was much smaller.
Yeah. Oh, but so how did you end up making a pillowcase into a dress?
My landlord found it in the street, and he said, oh, this would be a good dress. And he sort of, he held it up, and he said, and you just cut here, and look, it's already there.
Oh my God! He found it in the street and gave you a pillowcase, and you go, yeah, I'll make this into an iconic dress. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about another photo that you've done. You've done tons of photo shoots, and you look gorgeous. But can you explain to me that you were on the cover of Wrestling Magazine? How did this happen? Why did this happen? And what was going on here?
Well, I met this woman in my neighborhood. Well, we were living on 21st Street.
Yeah.
And we always said hello. Her name was Nancy Moon. And
cool name.
We got to be talking, and she said that she was the press person, I guess, for I don't know, it was for The Garden or was for Vince McMahon. But so she said, anytime you want to go. And of course, Chris said, You know, let's go. So we went all the time.
You were giant wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And show up to all of the things.
Yeah, we went to hundreds of them.
Just because you could get in?
Yeah, well, no, because we watched it on TV, and it's much better live, you know.
I just love that you're a giant wrestling fan. It's so fun. How was Andre the Giant?
Andre was very nice, very tall, as you can see. And he shook my hand, and my hand disappeared. I felt so short, I stood on my toes. And it didn't help.
No, it didn't help at all, not even on
help.
your toes.
No.
But this led you to working with Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
How? Because he was doing his whole wrestling thing?
Well, you know, I guess coincidentally, I don't know, the play came over from the UK. It was called Trafford Tansy.
Yep.
And Trafford, I think, is outside of Manchester.
So it was a Broadway show?
Yeah.
And then
I wrote opening closed in one night, so.
Congratulations. That's
One
a
of
record.
those, one of those.
But you got, what a great, I've never seen this photo of you and Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. Oh, he was a sweetheart.
He was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really
He was
funny.
lovely, yeah.
Unbelievable. I reading through the books and looking through all this, there's so many fun, cool things in here, but little tidbits. But one thing, Heart of Glass is one of my favorite songs. Originally it wasn't titled
Thank you.
Heart of Glass.
No, it was Once I Had a Love, and it was gonna soon turn out to be a pain in the ass. I don't know if it was a pain in the ass song.
It was going to be called Pain in the Ass.
And when we, I guess it was when we started having a record contract, they said, no,
Please don't do that. Please change that lyric. Please.
can't have that.
Yeah, and so then who came up with Heart of Glass?
I think it was Chris. And I think it was just, you know, his wisdom or his, you know, brilliance. And he just said, well, it's Heart of Glass. We'll say Heart of Glass. And then we found out later that there was a film named Heart of Glass.
It's interesting talking to you because now I've known you and I've run into different things, but you come off so cool, like, yeah, but you're Blondie, you're Debbie Harry, you're an icon.
It's all a mistake.
It's all a mistake?
Yeah.
And who made the mistake? Us? Yeah, we chose it right now. I love you. I'm honored to have you here. Please come back whenever you have, even if you have nothing, just come with more honey. That's all I ask. Debbie Harry, everybody. Blondie, the new box set right here. Against the Odds. 1974, 1982. Available now. Debbie Harry. We'll be right back with Lee Michelle. Stick around.